Hello and welcome to today's love lesson. Today's love lesson is worrying is a waste and faith is fear. So, coming to this conclusion, I have been going through quite a bit this past week, over a week, and where I find myself going back and forth between worrying and then faith. And even if you're not religious, I still feel like this can play a part, even if you're not spiritual. This can still play a part in your life, especially when it comes to dating. Now, what I'm going through is not with dating. I have a loved one in the hospital, and so that has a bit of stress to it. And you worry, right? You worry about them. And then for me, I go back to that faith of, okay, trusting God, trusting, this path. So when it comes to worrying, and a lot of people do this in relationships, dating, marriage, in your life, where you worry, and it is a waste. I love that quote that says that worrying is a waste of imagination, and it's so true. There are other things you should be spending your time thinking about, and worrying about how something is going to play out, worrying about that you're still single and you don't have somebody, worrying about where your marriage is going. It's such a place to be that is not helpful, and it's a waste of your time. Worrying is a waste of your time. Faith can be very fierce. In fact, faith is fierce, like having faith in the process, having faith in yourself, knowing that you can get through things. So even if you're not religious or spiritual, having faith in yourself is huge. Having faith in that things do play out is huge. It really adds something to it. So maybe if you're single and you're worrying about that you don't have somebody, this could be a situation where you can stop and think, okay, if you're religious, having that faith in God, having that faith in how things play out, and really and truly that things do work themselves out. And so maybe it's not tomorrow that you're in a relationship, but maybe you find a great partner 20 years from now. It all works. Like, enjoy your life. Don't worry. Everything, there's someone out there for everyone. And multiple people, actually, I think. So when it comes to, say, marriage or a committed relationship, worrying where something goes, and that can cause a lot of strife in your relationship, in your marriage, and it's just not something that's helpful. It's hurtful. So then that comes back to faith. So if you are faith-based, coming back to God, coming back to your relationship and the relationship with God within that relationship. It's a lot of relationships right there. So, and that can be very helpful. That can be very soothing, and that can bring you peace and the answers you need. And maybe there's not an answer that needs to be answered today. So it comes when it's supposed to come. And if you're not someone who's religious or spiritual, having that faith in yourself, having that faith that things will work out in your best interests and your highest good, I think is really helpful. So even if you're not someone who's faith-based or spiritual, that you can still, faith plays a part in some form. It's just a word, right? So it still plays a part in your life, and not needing to worry about something, worry about where something's going, but be in that moment, spread the love, be that love and light, and you'll help yourself, you'll help the situation, and save when you cross that bridge, right? Because it's fear. That's what's coming up for you, is the fear, whether it's fear of being alone, or fear of something ending, fear of something beginning. It's all fear. That's where worry comes from. So if you start to really think about what you're fearful of, and then kind of be in there, right? So admit to yourself what you're fearful of, and then be with it. And then see the options. I love options. I think having options and listing them out is a great way to start to go, oh, okay, this is how things can be, this is how things could play out. And so that way you're not worrying, you're not just constantly in your head thinking, you are actually being constructive with that worry. So that's just a little tip for if you still worry, but you want to go somewhere with it. List out the options, list out the possibilities, and then let it be. You still always show up, you still always do your work. So if you're faith-based like myself, spiritual, then you know that, we are co-creators with God. So if you're a co-creator, that means you still have the free will, you still have things that you need to do in order to get something, in order to achieve. So if you're single and you are looking for someone, you still have to show up. You still, yes, you have faith that your person is coming, but also know you still have to show up. And know that if you're tired, say from dating, and take a break. Like, there's no big deal. In fact, actually, that's usually where you meet someone, is when you let it go and you're just enjoying it, enjoying your time, doing something you love, is usually actually when you meet somebody. You'll meet someone unexpectedly. And that's one of my favorite things. I just love when people meet people, when you're like, oh, I went to the grocery store, I didn't have any makeup on, it was a crappy day, and there they were. So I love those stories of people meeting unexpectedly. You come together unexpectedly, because that's usually how it is, and it's the best surprise. So for sure, no, just let it go. Worry is wasteful. So, and faith is fierce. So stick to the faith, whatever that faith may be for you, and yeah, lean into that. So thank you for watching, thank you for sharing, for liking, and if there's something you want to talk about with the love lessons, please contact me and let me know. You can leave a little message below or on my website, which is www.dorothydstover.com. And I look forward to hearing from you. Until next time, peace, love, and hugs. Bye-bye.